Hello there, Bic Benedict here. We're playing Gears of War 4 on the PC on Inconceivable difficulty. This is my guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Act 2-4. It is entitled The Great Escape. I'm going to go out on a limb here because I haven't defeated Inconceivable difficulty in its entirety. I've only got up to Act 3. But I'm going to say that this is probably going to be the hardest chapter of the entire game. That's just going to be my educated guess. It is far and away, and I knew it. I knew it. I'll talk about this in the next video because there's not going to be much time to talk about it. Before I even started this guide, I knew that this chapter was going to possibly derail the guide. But I want you guys to know that although it seems like it's impossible, and it almost kind of is, it is not impossible. It's just the last checkpoint is the only thing worth talking about on this video, because everything leading up to the last checkpoint is very mundane and very doable. Now, you get an enforcer. You're actually playing as Marcus because Marcus is the one firing. You get an enforcer. You get limitless ammunition. One tip to if you're having trouble navigating the terrain is to hold the left trigger, which will make you aim and it will slow down the vehicle. So anytime that you're moving around trees, having problems getting killed too quickly, just hold the left trigger constantly, and then you'll move more slowly, and you have increased reaction time. The last checkpoint is what I'm sure you're here to find help with. I didn't think it was possible. I took about 5 hours to clear it. I was testing everything. I was at about my wit's end because I couldn't understand how the game had been adjusted, because enemies do have less health on Inconceivable difficulty, and we know that because the engines of the boss, they get destroyed more quickly on Inconceivable difficulty. So what I did is I went through Insane difficulty, and at first just to check out what the difference was, and then I realized that the game makers had altered what happens on this fight. Now, do you see the two engines on either side of the vulture here? The way that you can destroy these so quickly does not happen on Insane difficulty. Do you see how quickly we destroyed those two engines? Those cannot be destroyed that quickly if you're on Insane difficulty. So what I just did proves that this is on Inconceivable difficulty. And what normally happens on Insane difficulty is that after you destroy those two engines, you get the cutscene. However, since we're on Inconceivable difficulty, you're going to have to put max damage into the already destroyed engines before you trigger the cutscene. So what's going to happen on this video is, I'm not going to talk about it now, but in the next segment, I'm going to have this same footage repeated, but at a slower speed. Okay? So that we can talk about it in depth, because taking 5 hours to do one checkpoint is absolutely ridiculous. And now, okay, so you get limitless ammunition, you get the enforcer, and I'm gonna tell you guys what's the main problem here. Dodging the AoEs. Now, the first set of AoEs, that's very easy to dodge. There aren't too many of them. The second and the third batch of AoEs, they're very difficult to dodge. Now, there is a way so that you can get through this fight without having to go through all three sets of AoE dodging, because dodging the AoEs, for me personally, is extremely difficult, and it's one of the barriers to beating this boss for me, was dodging those AoEs. So what I'm going to show you is that to avoid having to do all three sets of the AoEs, what we're going to do is we're going to get as many active reloads as we can, And again, I can't stress the absolute key to beating this boss, guys, is the active reloads. Okay, so here's the same footage, just slow down. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire all of my rounds right over here so I can start getting my active reloads as much as possible. I don't believe that it matters too much at first because you're just destroying the engines. But after you start your barrage of attacks, after you destroy these, you want to make sure that you're always getting your active reloads for yourself. And okay, so now we've destroyed the 2 engines. And get your active reloads and just start firing as much as you can into the destroyed engines. You see this? It would appear that your job is done. The engines have been destroyed. What more do you need to do? Well, to get the cutscene, you have to pump as much damage as you possibly can into the engines. It doesn't matter which engine you shoot to. It doesn't matter. See, it says take out the primary engines. Well, we've already done that. It doesn't matter. You need to continue to fire bullets into the engines. So now we're on phase 2 of the AOE droppings over here. And what happens is, as you do this, you want to end your dodging of all these AOEs with hardly any bullets in your clips so that you can get an active reload. You should see me like starting to fire over here. I'm starting to fire just blank round and nothing so that I can get my active reloads, and then start hammering the destroyed engines with more active reload bullets. Now we're going to be going into phase 3 over here, but watch as I escape death. See this? Watch this. See the opaque death omen over here? It doesn't matter because I've destroyed the engine. So you can actually begin to do phase 3. And if you have just a little bit more damage to spray into the destroyed engines, it doesn't matter how much health you have. You could be at the verge of death. As long as you destroy the engines, you get that cutscene, and then you can proceed over here. You don't get a checkpoint anywhere. Now, when you're firing at these guns over here, whichever ones light up red, don't be in front of them. That's the simple thing. I've never died to the guns. They're very fair. And depending on how many gun turrets you destroy will dictate when you can start firing into the secondary engine core. Okay, I've destroyed all 3 over here. That means that although the camera is going to pan over here to the right, showing us the 3 other turrets, it's going to correct itself and then allow me to fire into the primary engine inside of the ship. See, right now I'm firing blank bullets here into nothing. That's because I want to get my active reloads going for myself and as quickly as possible. Okay, because I want to start firing into that primary engine as quickly as possible. See this? See how it's going to move away from that? It's only because I've destroyed the other turrets on the other side. Now, I don't think that you can destroy this primary engine core in one go unless you shoot like an active reloaded bullet into it non-stop. So what's going to happen probably for you is that if you don't get instantly killed by something, is that now what's going to happen is the ship is going to drop and it's going to carve the earth, and you're going to need to dodge out of the way of the see the damage we took there. If you make contact with those scored parts of the ground, you get instantly killed almost. So now all you need to do is just finish shooting into the core and keep getting your active reloads for yourself. But it's very important to realize that your death can come at any moment, and you've just got to keep sticking with. This is going to be people's breaking points, guys. That's the extent of my knowledge for this part. I don't know if I can say that it's one of the hardest things I've done on this channel, but it's been one of the most unpleasant things that I've ever done on this channel. And I cannot stand it when something that is the hardest part of a game is not what the game actually is. That's always been one of my main pet peeves in gaming. But yeah, this chapter is going to be people's tipping points, and I knew it. I knew it from the moment before I even started this guide, because I had such a hard time on insane difficulty with this part that I knew it. But I guess that's what I signed up for, right? Yes and no. Nailing those active reloads is essential. It's absolutely crucial. If like me, you have a hard time dodging those AoE sessions on the ground, because there can be up to 3. You saw it yourself. I skipped the 3rd one because I had put enough damage into those destroyed engines. It's all about pumping damage in those engines. You can skip session 3. Now, again, if this was on Insane, you would only have to do probably 1 session of AoE dodging. So they have altered it. This is Inconceivable difficulty. You know, they changed things around a little bit. But damn, this is hard. 5 hours. 5 hours, man. You know, people down in hell probably don't even envy me. But you know, I hope that these tips can get you through it. It's going to break a lot of people, but I'm sure most people aren't even going to touch this difficulty. Anyway, I will see you in Act 3. This is the concluding video for Act 2. And I will see you, like I said, over in Act 3. Take care.